Japan, when the cherry blossoms fall from the sky or fall from the tree, they are making the ultimate sacrifice. Blossoms fall when they're at the height of their beauty. And this word in Japan of sutemi kind of refers to this sacrifice. It's throwing away the self or sacrificing the self. Hello, my name is Michael Glenn, and in this episode of the Dojo Show, we're studying the Kata Raka. Raka refers to these kind of falling petals, and we're going to use this feeling in this kata. This next kata we're going to do is Rakka. You guys maybe read my blog post where I wrote about Kiri no Hitoha and Rakka. I talked about both of those. And Rakka is the one that refers to the falling blossoms. Okay, so we'll see tonight if we can kind of get that feeling in this kata. So I start off in Seigan. He's in Daijodan there. He's going to cut down. I'm coming in here and striking, okay? There's a kick, and then he drops. I'm striking to the hands here. If this is a kunai or a jute, it's a piece of metal. So when you strike kote, it really makes the guy want to release the sword. I'm doing it with a piece of wood, and even that, because of the targets, makes the person want to let go, right? And that's kind of the goal in a way, is to disarm your opponent, right? So let's go again. So here, I'm striking into kote here, right? Kick to the groin. Then you can relieve him of his weapon. Seigan here, he cuts in. This is slamming into the hands. Okay, this is groin, right? And then you take his weapon. One more time. So here, into the hands, groin. If he already let go of his weapon, then you can just do something else and take him down. Okay? There's a good chance when you slam this into kote that the person will want to let go. The initial Seigan no Kamae, you want to point this towards your opponent's eyes. Okay, that's kind of like how Seigan works with any version of Seigan no Kamae. You're actually focused towards the eyes, attacking the eyes, directed at the eyes. Sometimes in between the eyes, sometimes slightly above the eyes, with the point of your weapon. If you're doing it with your hands, the hand will sometimes point at the opponent's eye area.
Where is it pointing?
You had it lower like this, but point it at the opponent's eyes to start. And if you have a really strong kamae, it may make him feel not entering, right? So if I have my kamae really strong here, he may consider like he doesn't want to come in, even though his sword is a better weapon than this. There's a chance he'll have second thoughts about entering. Yeah.
You lower it, put your head in, or is he gonna want to come in more?
If you make your kamae shittier, yeah, he might come in more. Right, that might tempt him. But the kata says start in Seigan, so get the Seigan no kamae first, and then if he's afraid to enter, you can maybe let it drift down or something. But I don't think he'll be intimidated by this so much when he's got a sword. So everybody's doing the evasion too big. Let's talk about that for a second. So when I'm here in Seigan, my evasion is just this cross step. Okay, see this small cross step I made? That's my evasion. I'm very close here, right? I want the swordsman just to miss by a little bit. So Seigan, cross step. Okay, here you can attack and kick at the same time even. Okay, this could attack, that could attack. more time that way maybe. So cross step. Here you could drive that in. That's kind of a hanka there, but the evasion starts with this this cross step here. Okay, so from your seigan, you do this cross step, and then you can pivot in as you put this in the hands area, and then kick. Okay. Now the kata just says you remove his sword, and usually it's done by pulling back. So after you've kicked, you have a hold of the suka here, and you pull back.
Like a juicy thing where you like take it and then peel it away from it.
It's not the same as that kata, but it could have that quality. It's after your kick, you want to just think about dropping back and removing his sword while you go. So when I do this first cross step evasion, it's good to have this here, okay, to shield. You could have it here this way or that way. If it were a jute, his sword would fall in the hook of the jute. You guys know what a jute is? Yeah. So the jute has that little hook on the side, and so the sword would actually fall in the hook of the jute. We're not doing this with a jute tonight, but so here, this kind of shielding action, it can be this way or that way. Okay. Now when I step in with my right foot, you see where this puts me in relation to James. Okay, it's this classical juji position, and I'm also right at his suba. That's also classical for mutodori. Okay, if I'm out here, I'm in big danger. So I'm in here where he gets really jammed up, and it's hard for him to do anything with his sword at that point. Okay, one more time. So here, and then I turn here. See my juji position here? Right. So then you can use this to weave in between the hands. Hang on. So from as you do your turn here, you let it weave in between the hands. So now I have this kunai in between the kote. Then I kick. Then I pull back down. You can roll, maybe. One more time. So here, right, kick. Let this weave in between the hands like this. Okay, so after my kick, as I step back, that's when the blade gets removed from him. So here, okay. When I step in here, this just goes between kote. Kicking, stepping back. So that wants to bring him down there. I locked his hand differently than you, so it's kind of hard for him to roll. So here, right, as I come in here, that's that strike. Okay.
The strike is part of the weaving.
Yep. So his kote are like this, and you strike in between them. I'm just here for a second, right? It doesn't stay very long. Okay. So even though I emphasized it to you guys being this juji position, right, which it is, it's really quick. So you do your cross step, you drop in there, kick, and you're out, right? There's not a big pause right there. This position is very quick. It's supposed to be very small. So I'm here, right? It's just very small. It's just enough to evade that skinny blade, right? So it's not going to be like a really deep cross step like this. It's going to be like this, you know, very small. So I come here, I come in this way, and I'm threaded in between James's kote. After my kick here, the kata, normally you step back this way, okay? And you see how that kind of sends James on his way. But there's other options too. So here, I've threaded in here. After my kick, I can also come that way. So the difference is, after the kick, one pulls back this way, or it pulls back this way. Okay? And just by that small difference, it changes the finish. It changes what side you're going to put him on, or how he's going to land with his ukemi. So I receive in here, I've stepped in, this is threaded through, right? My kick, the normal one, is stepping back here. Okay? More time. So here, this threads through. After the kick, I can also step back this way. You see the difference there. And if he doesn't feel like he's going to fall, I mean, your kick to the groin hopefully will motivate him to fall. But if he doesn't feel like he's falling, then you can stab him with this, right? So one is back this way, the other is back this way. Okay? With what? Grabbing underneath?
Yeah.
Oh, across the
And
thing.
that's so shitty. Like, especially if I go this way, he cuts me all the way down.
Right.
The worst.
The kata, in the traditional kata version, right, you come here, and this arm's supposed to be on top more, right? It could, if you go underneath, you got to be beyond the suba. So that juji position is what helps you. If you're like this, that's not juji, right? So if you're here, you can go under, right? Then after your kick, sometimes you use this to pry one arm, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's very important to get that kind of juji position right at the suba. If you don't have that, then obviously the sword will go across the arm like that. And you can go under or over kote or through, right? So this time I'm going to be here. This hand is going to be out front instead, okay? So then I just move here. You see my juji with this, it's in a reverse grip, okay? So I just move in here. You see what's happened, okay? So this is kind of hidden now behind me. He doesn't necessarily know I have it, right? So I just receive in here. It's hooking here. It's trapping James's fingers, and it hurts a lot, right? Here. So you see how he had to let go of the sword, right? Just sit here. This is, I'm slowing this down for the camera, but this is hooking his kote. Okay. So then I can use that hook to ground things and protect myself. Here I've grounded the sword. Okay. So I'm starting in this reverse grip, and I move to the juji position and then allow it to hook. This juji position is key. See my position here? Yeah, you were more like this or something, right? So from this cross position to your kamae, right, then I can allow this to pick things up and scoot around. Reverse grip, Jesse.
Even here?
Yeah.
Here?
Oh, the hand is in front. The thing is hidden.
This is hidden?
Yeah, James wasn't doing it right either. So I have it in this reverse grip, and I have it hidden. Okay. So it's kind of hidden behind my hip here. So then when I move in, it comes here to shield me. This one, I don't care which grip. It could be this one or the reverse. So I'm still in my seigan here, right? See how just having this in seigan makes the blade go off to one side or the other. Okay. So here. So I'm allowing it to go off to one side there. See what happened there? One more time. So I'm allowing it to go off to that side. Okay. Then here you can thread this through, attack. Use this if you want to attack. When you open up here, this can strike bone. So here, right? So I can allow that to come in and attack. And then this can stab here after he falls. So this cross step behind can be my evasion, okay? So I cross step behind and I'm already at the juji position here, okay? So if I want, I can attack this way to the hands, or I can just use it to trap, okay? Keep it guarded here against his wrist, right? And then attack. You guys understand? So the evasion's very small. Sometimes I did it without even stepping. I just use this to receive, right? And if you need a step, cross step behind here, okay? So Oguri style, right? I need to brace this to protect myself. Okay, so then I can kick here. So this way, right? And then here, you guys, I didn't really do it, but I was gonna put this here like this so he would fall on it. So there's a bit of a sutemi that can happen. One more time. So it doesn't matter which grip you start with. It could be this one, could be this one. This one's a little easier to shield immediately. This one you just let it flip, okay? So here, so I let it flip, and then I can let this slip out and hook. Okay, as he falls, this can attack. So just receiving here, that can strike, and you can enter in. Okay, see how I use this to shield? Yeah, he got tied up with the string a little bit. So you can do a sutemi, or you can rise back up. All right, I'm gonna receive this way and allow this to wind through. Here I block, and I'm gonna allow this to slip through kote and hook. Okay, see what this has done? So it kind of hooks, creates an emote as you spin. So allow this to hook under here, under the hand. Okay, see what's happened to his kamae? So here's my juji again.
Does the footwork change once you're on the ground?
Well, you can play with different footwork. One thing you can play with is you're here. You can do this kind of sutemi as you hook the, yoko nagare. As you hook the hand, you can do that kind of roll. Yeah. So here, right, I attack. See how I let that come around? It's trapped in there, right? So he wants to let go. He's cutting, right? If I come here and hook, okay. So if I hook back this way, that might make a little more sense to you guys. You okay there? So if I come here and I hook this under, then it might make more sense. Okay.
Isn't that like the same thing? But
It is. It's the same thing, but maybe you're not in as vulnerable a position. Yeah, doing this kind of here is a little harder than doing it up here, right? So here, hooking back in this way. Okay. So then you can allow this to rotate if you want. If you want to rotate it that way. When I'm standing, I don't feel like rotating it that way so much. You know, I feel like turning the other way, but one more. So here, right. This is the way I was doing it on the ground, rotating like that, right? James is going to be punching. I'm going to have this kunai, but I could have the kunai in my belt, right? I could have it hidden here. Soke will sometimes even have these hidden up the sleeve like this, right? So it's not so obvious that you have it, okay? So I'm just going to keep this kind of hidden here as James punches. So receiving here, okay? And then you can use this up against the arm. Jesse, please. So receiving. So he doesn't even know I have it yet necessarily, okay? But he'll know if I strike or if I use the leverage of it, okay? So there's some leverage here against his wrist and his hand. This is something that you can do with teppan, with small knives, with shuriken, all those kind of things. So just receiving here alongside of his arm, okay? I'm not doing anything with it yet, but it's obvious that it could very quickly. See that lock? One more time, James, please. So I might want to keep it kind of hidden here, right? And then he doesn't still know I have it until there. He's falling, then he gets it in the back of his head. One more time. So it's just alongside James's arm. Okay, you see how it could attack the other hand? I'm using the knob of it to attack his guarding hand, but I just keep it alongside of his arm, and then as I enter, it's being used here for leverage to trap things, right? I'm just showing you guys where it's at. So I've seen Soke do this a lot of ways. He's also done it with this grip. So as James comes in, right, I place it alongside James's arm here. Okay, just placing it on the arm and then stabbing it into the shoulder has an interesting effect. Okay, one more. So here, right, it's into the shoulder. Doesn't seem like much, but that will have an effect. And depending on your kunai, some of them don't have really sharp edges. They're more pointy, so you can grip it this way, right? So try this out, please. Play with this kind of hidden, hide it alongside of his arm as he punches, okay? I receive here and I strike James's elbow, okay? One more time. So Jodan Uke, strike the elbow. And you see what it turns into a very natural onikadaki, okay? So again, yeah. So Jodan Uke here, elbow, okay? This is onikadaki. And I can use this in the space to keep thrusting and stabbing. Jodan Uke, receive elbow. Okay. One more time. This is elbow. Okay. It's with my body motion here to the elbow. And then you pull. Here as he's falling, the point can drive right into his neck. Still playing with this kind of jupo seisho concept. So I'm going to keep this hidden back here. Okay, sometimes you hold it this way or even this way, right? So it's hidden like this, right? This is kind of like oto nashi no kamae sort of feeling. So whichever grip you hold it in, it's okay. So James is punching. So I'm just going to use this to receive on his fist. Okay. So just receiving on his fist here. I'm not doing anything yet. And then I let this rock up and through. Okay. So just receiving on his fist here. It's not doing anything yet. Okay. Then you let it come up under the elbow here, and then you can use that to strike down. Okay. Just keeping this attached to him as he falls. So it should be very soft, like nothing to it when you first receive. So it can receive this way too. So you saw that last was you turn the kunai into a shuriken, right? So just receiving on the fist, okay? Then you can let this pivot here as you kick. Then you've got the back of the head. Okay? You all right, James? So this is going back to the feeling of Raka, that Kata we were doing, okay? Remember, this is the falling leaves from the cherry tree, or the falling blossoms from the cherry tree, right? So they kind of flutter, and this thing is fluttering through the space. And in that fluttering motion, that's where you change with using jupo seisho. So right here on the end of his fist. Okay, see, I keep it connected to the hand, and I can stab the hand into the ground. Okay. One more time. So this, on the end of his fist. See how it transferred from one hand to the next? Went from the lead hand to the rear hand. And that could be a strike, right? One more time. So here, just on the end of his fist here. So that, not doing anything yet. Caught some bone on the way through. All right, you guys understand the idea? Floating on the end of the fist. If he threw 2 punches, so here, right, that's even better. See where this is at in him? I had your hand trapped as you were rolling, yeah. So 2 punches can make it even more interesting, right? Just here. See where that's received? This is juji again, right? So here I can attack him in so many ways, right? This is very tricky, and it's pretty advanced sort of feeling, so the tendency for most people when they try this kind of thing is to try to do too much with the hand. And that'll mess you up. So don't try to do too much there. Do more with your footwork if you can. Sensei does crazy things like this. Somebody want to punch? So even if I don't have this, right, he'll do things like this where he just catches one finger in the sleeve. Okay, and then you see what can happen here. So then as the pressure increases here, you let it release. Right, James? This is kind of stuff Sensei will play with all the time. So one finger in the sleeve here, right? You see how that's enough to sort of send James on his way. And I did that almost with any technique or touching him, right?